Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
We have an echo.
We have an echo?
Sounds like it. Yeah, I wonder.
I don't mind being two people at once. That's fine.
Echo.
Kind of sounds good.
That little, let's see, I have
Good morning to
you
you.
in cathedral mode.
You got me in cathedral mode? Oh, I like that.
Is that better? That was meant for you when you were singing the other day.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Yeah.
I need the echoey thing.
Well, and she got it.
I love it.
I hope everybody had a great week.
Yay!
And do we have any birthdays here? I think we have
Yes,
some
we
here. Annie, could you take some strand of beads? What's your favorite color?
I'll tell you what, Tom.
Tom, what's your favorite color?
Green.
Okay. Here we go. Yay.
Yay!
These are your birthday beads from CCL.
This is your birthday, John. It isn't very long.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. And we're still trying to figure out when we can go back to singing with a choir, as a group. And they're still saying singing is the absolute best way to project the COVID virus.
We spit while we sing.
Yeah. So singing, we do quick little things, and we let Janet sit up here all by herself and sing. Our main goal here is to protect each one of you and make sure that you're here having a glorious time, but you aren't being infected or infecting anybody. That's where we are. If you prefer to wear a mask, please do. It's kind of difficult for us who are speaking to wear masks and talk at the same time. So I can always use that as a reason that I'm a little bit garbled, couldn't I?
Yeah.
For those on Zoom, I'm wearing my invisible mask today. Welcome, welcome. And thank you, Jeremy, for being here. I think you're the only person that doesn't come here on a regular basis, so I wanted to let you know. And there are so many things going on in the world. So many things. And I want you, every time you start to think something negative, just stop and take a nice deep breath and say, thank you, Creator. I'm alive today. It might be something that's going on within your body. It might be something that's going on within your home or your family. But just do that. Just take a time to just, I'm alive today. Okay? And Corky, I need you to come here and push my back.
Oh, okay, I'm coming.
I say that and my scapula on my left side goes out of whack. So if you could just come, this is called instant help here. Up and to the left a bit. No.
We heal each other.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you.
Let us in healing right now.
Yeah. And what happens is when I pull myself up, I forget that that's the muscles I use to do it. So thank you. So
Okay,
thank you all so
get
much.
in the ring. You can do it. Come on.
Thank you, thank you. So anyway, just like I did, I took a minute to have myself taken care of. I want all of you to figure out how you can do that, okay? And I'd like, Annie, could you do just a real calm meditation accompanied by our wonderful Jan?
Sure.
Okay, since my shoulder is kind of going out, I think I'll just pass the torch. And this is our associate pastor. Reverend Andy.
Yay, Reverend Andy.
And, we have an announcement before we go any further, Ann. There we go, and that's going to be at UCM.
Oh, the UCM Sacred Stage Educational Series presents How I Was Reborn in America. And Sonia, what is Sonia's last name?
Sharma.
Sonia Sharma is going to come speak to us, and I keep meaning to register, so I've got to do that when I get home. And she shares stories of her childhood cultural celebrations in India and her relocation. Is that Mel? Hi, Patty! We are blessed by some wondrous people today. Everybody is wondrous. And her culture, anyway, she's going to talk about her resistance and reconciliation with America and paradox. And I was looking at that and thinking, oh, that's going to be an amazing talk. So
She is an amazing person. I don't mean to interrupt, Annie, but she is an amazing person. I had the privilege of speaking with her. We were setting this
Is
up.
that gonna be Zoom?
yes, it's going to be on Zoom.
It will be
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday
At
night.
6 p.m. So if you go to u-c-m.org, you can register if you don't receive the emails from UCM. And you can just register in advance. That way they know and they send you the link. And you can get in and watch, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. Everybody's invited. Please come.
And bring your friends. I mean, this is an incredible experience of a person that has spanned 2 hemispheres of our world with her traditions. So it's going to be wonderful.
Thank you.
And may I offer something else too?
Absolutely.
I bet you could talk it into your mic, yeah.
Our rejuvenation retreat is again going to happen via Zoom on the 22nd of this month. And I will get Corky a flyer.
Yeah.
Just finished
It's
it.
the fourth Friday.
4th Friday in July, and which is the 22nd. And I invite you all to come, even if you can only come for part of it. We're going to have meditation, sharing, and candle lighting. And our theme this particular month for the HIV Rejuvenation Retreat is freedom. How do we gain internal freedom? How do we gain external freedom? How do we support each other in claiming our freedom?
Excellent. Looking forward to it. Sitting right away. Right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's take a moment and close our eyes. We're going to go just on a little bit of a journey. Take a nice deep breath in, breathing in all that love and light of God, Goddess, all that is, universal love and light, Creator. And let's take a little walk outside the door today. It's a beautiful day outside. And there's so much going on that appears to be in a way of stress and anxiety. And so what we're going to do today is take a walk of peace, a walk of joy. And as we walk out the door, as soon as we walk out the door, right there in front of us is our favorite place. So we have a small little path to take, and you can end up at your favorite rainbow stream. You can be at the beach, in the mountains, wherever you are taken to. Because Creator has taken you to the place that brings you the most peace and the most joy in your life. And as you breathe in and look around you, you can see butterflies, dragonflies. You feel the joy and the love. As you breathe out, you let go. We know that nothing is real except for love. And in this moment in time, we live in that loving energy. So you sit down, or if you choose to stand, go put your feet in the water. Whatever it is makes you feel the best. You listen to the sound of the children playing. You listen to the humming of the bees. You listen to the birds chirping. And you feel peace. Feel love. Feel relaxation. And you know that no matter what it is that you're going through in any part of any day, you can just take a nice deep breath and step outside and be in this energy. we're going to walk ourselves into a place of magic. And just know that we are strong, that we are loved, that we have everything that we need always right by our sides and at our beck and call. Take another deep breath in as we look around and just look with eyes of joy. Everywhere around you is something that makes you smile. As we give thanks to this beautiful place, we turn back and we're going to return to the center now. But as we return, we still hold this energy and this love within our hearts. And we can turn to it, as I said before, anytime it's available for us. So let's come on back in right now and listen to the beautiful music of our wonderful Reverend Dr. Janet Jones.
Oh, peace flows like a river from your heart, and light grows like a star in you can start to be the light you see. You can be the peace you know. You can be all that you can hold within your powerful soul. Let the peace flow like a river from your heart. Let the love grow like a flower in your soul, and the peace like a river flows into the ocean, brings us home to ourselves, and the love is a seed that we can plant with every step we take in the world, and the peace grows, and the love, oh, it grows, and we hear it in the child's laughter, in the child's song, inside of us, it's building. Oh, let the peace flow, the love grow inside of your heart. Oh, let the night come with its mystery
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is exciting.
Oh, you're just tricky.
I am being tricky. Welcome, welcome. And I want to welcome Mel. Hi, babe. Welcome from the Hinterland down there in the south.
And welcome, Patty.
Welcome, Patty. Yeah, thank you both for being here. This is great. And what I would like to do is announce that we are going to be having a silent auction at our Universal Church of the Master conference, and that's going to be September 10th. So what I'd like for you all to do, if you have a favorite restaurant, if you have a favorite hairdresser, if you have a favorite place that you go, and ask them, do you have a coupon or a certificate that we could put into the silent auction? And certificates are wonderful because we're going to have a lot of people on Zoom this year, and we want them to be able to be a part of this also. So please, you be my minions, okay? I love this, looking out at all of you as minions, running around getting those wonderful certificates that we can use to support our parent church, Universal Church of the Master. It's catching, Amanda. Now you've got me sneezing and coughing. So I want each one of you, when you're thinking about what can I do to support my base as far as my faith in my church, see what it is. And you'll be surprised when you talk to somebody that knows your face because you got in there for food or you went in for a pedicure, and you'll say, by the way, do you happen to have a certificate that I could take to church because they're having a silent auction? Just start communicating more with those people that help you, and also ask them if they wouldn't be a part of your community. Because we have so many wonderful things coming up this year that the Universal Church of the Master is doing brand new, and we want you to hear about it. So you, even if you don't belong to the UCM body, you can go to the conference and hear people speak and see what people are doing that are part of our parent church. And a lot of the faces you're going to see there are faces you already know, such as our Reverend Joyce Brown is going to be speaking, Reverend Mary Gary is going to be there. And as I'm saying this, I want to mention that it's Reverend Tom Gary's birthday. As you know, we sang before some of you came in, so don't forget to say happy birthday to him when we have our break, okay? Because Tom and Mary Gary have been members of the Universal Church of the Master for a long time. I'm not even going to tell you how long. I don't want me to be the one that gives away how old they are. They've been doing this for a long time, okay? And if you don't know Tom and Mary, please go up and introduce yourself, because they, when they're here, we want to treat them like our visiting royalty because they're so special for us.
Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful when they're here. And as I'm talking about visiting royalty, realize that you have some of the greatest people in here every Sunday, like our Reverend Dr. Janet Childs. Thank you, Janet.
Yay!
And the people that are going to be speaking are Patty Baker is going to be talking to you. So thank you to all of you that are here. Don't forget, we are going to be having coffee and probably fruit. It looks like over there, we've got a lot of goodies. Something that you might want to pick up and share, and talk to people. Let people know who you are. We don't want you to just be a face, because we don't like for you to be a name behind those eyes. So we can call you by your name and not, hey, you cute girl with short hair, or something like that, you know?
Other people will turn around and that. I'm the cute one?
Oh, I thought she was talking to me.
I know.
Yeah, we need names. We need names. Speaking of cute girls and helping so much, thank you, Reverend Corky Whitaker.
I'm glad I can make it.
You'll be here every week.
I sure hope so. That's my plan.
Okay, anybody have anything they'd like to add before we introduce our speaker today? Yes, Desmond. Oh, wait a minute, okay, Mary, go Mary.
I have some flyers here for people who want to remember the date of the conference in September. Just we're starting early, just a little heads up. The next one out will say the price. We're going to keep it at $35 if you register early and $40 if you register at the door. And we have a very exciting keynote speaker. Most of you know Reverend Jellish. He was president for a while. He and his wife went to Mexico on a little vacation, and he got COVID, was in intensive care there for a couple of months. And he had some very powerful spiritual experiences while he was surviving that. And he'll be talking about that and tools to use for yourself as you're facing that incredible challenge. And then in the afternoon, we just happen to be kind of lined up here. The people, Joyce and I are and Tom and Janet are facilitating the afternoon workshop, which is a follow-on to what Dr. Jellish is doing, where you're going to pay attention to yourself. The workshop will be focused on you, working with you to develop your personal strength, and we'll have some strategies to help you with that. There'll be a nice little lunch. And then we're not going to do dinner because it was too complicated there. And but I ever want to eat, as you can see. I thought maybe I'd see what China Sticks would do for us, where we could prepay something at China Sticks, and I'll just go there and gather and have some pretty good Chinese food at a reasonable price. What do you think, Brew? I'll put these on the table for people who are interested. Things will come out in the mail. We'll be here so much you'll be sick of us waving our papers around. It's going to be a wonderful conference.
Yes.
Michelle, who is Richard's wife, was in Mexico with him, didn't speak Spanish, and they wouldn't allow her in the hospital. She got one call in the afternoon a day, even though they were going to count down to when they took them off the ventilator. You can only be on a ventilator a certain period of time. So they both have pretty wonderful, incredible stories to say. And she was not an active member of UCM, but she said she was sustained by what she felt literally were prayer coming to her. She hadn't had that experience before. And so I think you'll find that a pretty interesting look at a disease that's been wandering around but has never done to anybody that I know. Thank you, God. What happened to him, that he would be on a ventilator for so long, and his actual experiences of connecting with the drug group and this group and that group, I just heard briefly and I was stunned. So I think we're going to have a fine time together in September. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Desmond, you have your hand up. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I was just wanting to acknowledge my wife, and because today we moved into her new job. She got a promotion and moved into her new office, which was pretty awesome, and Rosalie was on the phone and the computer.
Yay!
So I just wanted to say how proud that we are.
Stand up and make that.
Christina?
A lot of husbands who would, they'd be proud, but they might not share it with one of us.
Okay, Christina, are you ready
She's
for
way
this?
smarter than I am.
Ready? And you're going to give you a CCL.
That's right.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, Christina?
Yeah, I have an old TV. It's right before high definition. It's really heavy, and I just want to get rid of it. And so I'm offering it for free. But the thing is, it's heavy, so.
Yes, you also need somebody to carry it away.
Right, and I'm offering the TV, but it does have a stand if the people want it.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, yes. Valerie.
I'm Valerie.
I think I'll be one of the artists that's chosen to do one of those light boxes in World Run, so I'm gonna go look at ideas today, but,
Okay,
yeah.
wonderful, thank you so very much.
We lend energy to that.
For all of you people and all of the wonderful things you're doing, we want you to know that we're supporting you. And don't forget to ask people their name. I am so big on this. You know, as I sit here, I can tell you everybody's name in the hall. It's not that I'm magic, okay? I think names are that important. And we used to have badges. People said, I don't want to wear a stinking badge, so we stopped. We listen to what you have to say. But just know that if you give somebody your name, it is so important because you have a connection. And CCL and UCM are about connecting. And that's what we want you to do, is be connecting with other people, okay? Now, talking about connecting with somebody, I want to introduce our speaker for today. Patty Baker is the most delightful lady. I enjoy visiting her. I enjoy having her in my life. She's sometimes standing in the shadow of her partner, Joyce Brown. And because she's much like my partner, Courtney, they're supportive, they're giving, they're loving, they're kind, they're there for whatever we need. And they forget to let their light shine. So anytime Patty can come and speak, having Patty Baker here, it shows that she's into now letting her light shine. And that's the best gift you can give anybody, is allowing them and also giving them little nudges along the way. Okay, Patty, please welcome Patty Baker. And now you can put your mic back, I think.
Thank you.
I think, or Annie, could you help us here?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, and I think it was right at the right height there for a minute. She's
Just about.
Yeah,
There we go.
Okay,
See, that's our village, that's our village.
Thank
making it
you
happen.
very much, Dottie. That was a beautiful introduction, and
Okay, need a little closer to you.
a little bit more there.
Yeah, because you're here and it's over here. There you go.
How about that?
Whoa, wow, look at it.
Yes.
Good. Except I can't see my paper.
Oh, now you left.
That's what I got in the
How's that?
glasses.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It's really great to be here. It's always a wonderful and heartfelt experience to come to CCL. And, you know, I'm going to do a piece from Mahatohe. For those of you who don't know, Mahatohe is a friend and spirit soul guide who is channeled through Reverend Joyce C. And she has been in our lives at least 35 years, and she has been teaching me that entire time. And within those teachings are stories. Now, Mahatohe has not been in the body for a very, very, very long time. And she tells me she was in and out of the body, learning with each experience, and now she no longer needs to be in the body, but she is doing work on the other side. And she says she got there through the journey of being human. Now, in her words, she says, I have lived many lifetimes. Some I was good, some I was not so good, some I was misguided. But I had many lifetimes where my greatest challenge was that of my mind. So today, I'm going to share with you one such lifetime. In this particular lifetime, my life has been full of ups and downs, the good and the mostly not so good. I'm 27 years old and I am very frustrated and unhappy with my life. One day I meet someone who I had never seen before. They were very friendly and talkative, which turned out to be good for me because I was moody and down. This man, who didn't look like anyone I had ever seen before, seemed to have appeared out of the air. I was walking down the road, I look up, and he's walking towards me. He's about 5 feet 11 inches, slight build, carrying a knapsack worn over his shoulder. And he walked with nice, easy steps. He wore a straw hat with a very wide brim, and he had a special stick in his bag. The stick was about 5 feet, and it was very noticeable sticking out from the bag. It was something I had never seen before. The color of the stick was reddish color with gold stripes, circling around the length of the stick, and had 6 white cranes with black crowns sitting on the stick at various points. When I got to where he was, he smiled at me and he said, "I wish you a lovely day." That was new for me. I'd never been wished a lovely day before. You can imagine my surprise. He just smiled at me, and I didn't know what to say. I was thinking, is there something wrong with him? Am I in danger? Then he said to me, "How far is the nearest community?" I told him to follow the road, and it would take him there in about 2 hours of more walking, just to stay on the road. He said, "I'm looking for work, and I'm good with my hands to fix things. Given time, I can build things." And then he said, "My name is Victor T." I remember saying to him, "My name is Adam James." In that lifetime, that is who I was. I've never told you or anyone about being Adam James. And Victor T said, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Adam James." I was polite. I said, "Good to meet you, Victor T." And he is still smiling. He said, "Is your family in need of someone to help? A place I could work, a warm place to sleep, exchange for food for my work?" My mind is going in every direction. I had him being a desperate killer, a thief, nothing pleasant. He never stopped smiling, always pleasant. This unusual man intrigued me, but I was also feeling cautious. I said to him, "Who are you, Victor T?" He replied, "I'm a traveler." And that's all he said. My caution was still present, and my mind wasn't at peace with Victor T. I did not know how to respond to him, and yet I wanted to know more about him. And then I paused, looking at him in the eye. I said, "I live with my aunt and my uncle from my mother's side. They would have to make the offer if you are approved." His response was one of calm. "Well, that sounds good. I'm hungry and tired. Will you show me the way, Adam James?" And so I did. My uncle and aunt liked him. He was pleasant, and he proved to be very good at his word. He worked hard, never complained. He rose early, accomplished what he set out to do in exchange for their hospitality. And at the end of his workday, he would disappear into the woods. He did this for some weeks. One day I decided to follow him to see what he was doing. When I would follow him into the woods, I could never find him. When I returned to the house, he would be in the place where he was sleeping. This went on for 3 months. My aunt and uncle were very pleased, but I became more and more ill-tempered. I didn't want to do the work. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't see any meaning in what I was doing. I found it to be a waste of my day to work the land and to do the chores. I wanted something more exciting. And all the while, Victor T is irritating me with his pleasantries and his peacefulness. One day, the most incredible storm came, and it rained so hard that Victor T could not sleep in his personal room. It was not a wonderful room, but it was nice enough for him. But he had to come in where it was nice and dry. He sat very quietly in the space we all shared with comfortable chairs, enjoying the warm fire and coffee. The silence was hard for me because I had been accustomed to making comments and just disturbing the peace, allowing my inner thoughts to spill out, much to the distress of my aunt and uncle. While we were sitting near the fire, Victor T. removed his bag. He removed from his bag several pieces of wood, and he started to carve. Catching all the pieces of the wood in a cloth, he laid on the floor. My curiosity held my attention, and then I realized he was making what looked like a whistle. He stuck a wire in the fire, got it hot, and opened the wood to complete what he was carving. But it turned out to be a little flute, something you could play with just one hand. He had several of them. He said he traded them for food, a ride, a place to stay. My aunt, her name was Alice James, she asked him where he had been, if he could share. He had traveled on ships to faraway places and countries with other languages and foods and spices. So many places, he said. And he started to tell stories about these places. He said he had been to the Orient, and he talked about it. I was sitting there listening and not believing him. I thought he was such a liar. He talked about Spain and a place where the city was built on water, Italy. So many places. I didn't believe him, but my aunt and uncle loved it. When sharing his adventures, Victor T. was always peaceful, relaxed, and expressive. That is to say, his voice and his words painted colorful pictures of his travels. I told myself I was wasting my time sitting there listening to his stories. There was lots of country for me to see and explore. The truth is, I was envious of Victor T. because he lived the life I dreamed of. Because of this, I was irritable all the time. So my aunt and uncle told Victor he could have a room in the house, and he was most thankful. Victor lived in the house right up until the end of winter, and he kept sharing his travel stories. I said to him one day after my aunt and uncle went to bed, I said, "How can you have gone to all these places? You look no older than me." He said, "I am much older than you, but that is not what you're asking me." With great defiance, I said, "You know so much, what am I asking?" And he said to me, "You want to know how I can be so peaceful. I am not angry or upset with my life. All of your thoughts are about what you haven't done, or places you have not gone, the people you would like to meet." Thank you. None of those things concerns me. Thank you. None of those things concerns me, but they concern you. I told Victor he should watch what he was saying, and I left the room. Things came to a head in February of the next year. The weather was still kind of cool, but not so much, and what happened was amazing. My Aunt Alice became very ill. I rode my horse into town to get the doctor. I get to town and the doctor is gone. No one knew when he would be back. I told several members of the community that my aunt was very ill. Some of the ladies came out to help with her. All I could think of was unpleasant thoughts about the doctor and that my aunt was going to die. Throughout the whole thing, Victor was very pleasant, spoke good words, encouraged my uncle to trust that his wife would be well, and to remember that he loved her, and to tell her that he loved her, and that he knew in his heart and his love she would recover completely. Inside, I was laughing at the lie he was telling my uncle. This laughter I was feeling was very unpleasant and all too common for me. I had no belief in any positive outcome. And this was especially so for what Victor wanted my uncle to believe. And Victor said to me, "Come take a walk with me, Adam, so your uncle can be with his wife." My uncle was Timothy, and everyone called him Timothy, no Tim or anything like that. I said, "All right." So we went for the walk, and Victor spoke. You are very disrespectful in your thoughts and your words and the way you act. You believe the worst. I was very angry at him. And he said to me, your anger means nothing to me. It is your anger. You, Adam James, are angry with everything. Your life, everything. Why is that? You are so young. I said to him, what do you know about anything? You roam the world, so you say. You have no place to call home. And Victor laughed. I tried to hit him, and I don't know what he did to me, but I wound up lying on my back. He said, if you want to hurt you, that is your right, but you have no right to hurt me. To disrespect you is your right. You have no right to disrespect me, or anyone else for that matter. Then he said, should you try to hurt me again, the arm you try to hit me with, I will break. Should you try to speak to me with such disrespect, I will break your jaw. He said, this is what you understand, Adam James. You do not understand kindness, respect, love, family. When you can admit why you are so angry, you can then stop being angry. Learn to control it, make it into something else. Until then, you will be controlled by what I call that negative inner voice inside of you. And then he said to me, you would not understand some of the things I have learned about what is called the mind. And he walked away. I just stood there. And then I went and found a place to sit. I gave thought to what had just taken place. I was confused, I was angry, and I felt very, very lost. I was beginning to realize that I truly did not know what was taking place within me. At some point later in the afternoon, I went back to the house. It occurred to me that I was busily, once again, only thinking of myself. When I got back to the house, even before I walked in the open door, I could smell something. It smelled to me like something spoiled. You wouldn't want to eat it or drink it. I looked towards the smell and I saw Victor carrying what I knew to be a teapot to where my aunt was lying in bed. My aunt's bed was brought out to the main living area to be near the fire. I had seen Victor over the weeks take what he called herbs from his special bags and make tea before, but nothing smelled like this. The smell was horrible. I had never seen that kind of material before, but my aunt drank the tea, and within 2 weeks, she was right as rain, feeling great. The doctor never came. The doctor never came back to the community, and a new doctor was eventually brought there. Victor had made an impression on me. I started to watch him closely to see how he did what he did and not be angry. I realized I was jealous of him and all of those many hurtful thoughts. It was in April when I finally said to him, tell me about the mind. What is this voice I hear? I feel it's stronger than me or how I truly want to be. Victor said, it is the mind. It tells you things, words, phrases. It reminds you of hurts more than anything, Adam James. And you listen. And as you listen, that voice grows stronger. So he said, how long have you been so angry about your life? When I realized it, since I was 10 years old. I said to Victor, it was at this time when I was orphaned, and this came about when my parents died. I was angry with what I called God because I prayed and I asked God to save my mother and father. But they died from some kind of fever, and from then on, I didn't believe in anything. I was afraid to love or to trust those I loved because I was afraid that they would leave me. And yet, I was afraid to go out on my own because the world seemed a scary place. I felt I couldn't trust it. So for 17 years, you have been like this, living here. I said yes. And your family did not put you out, no matter what you did. I just looked at him because it was true. He said to me, the mind is necessary. What we learn is how to keep the mind from acting as if it is the only part of us to be listened to. It is how you speak to the mind, I have learned, that makes the difference. But you must be on the watch. It is like protecting the cattle from wolf or the lion. You cannot fall asleep or they may eat you. He continued, and they are looking for food. They are hunters. And as hunters, they are smart, strong, and even fearless. No fear at all. This is what the mind can be like, a hunter. When the mind gets the scent of unhappiness, fear, anything hurtful, the mind will use it against you. The negative thoughts will become so big, it seems as though life is so ugly. Does this make sense to you, Adam James? Yes, it does. I fight inside all the time. I want to hurt others. I want to hurt me. I think my family is weak for keeping me here. I am unhappy. Victor said, your mind is creating for you these thoughts. I have learned this. I found peace with my mind because I would not surrender. That means I would not give in to those kinds of thoughts that were hurtful. I learned how to feed the mind without it becoming the one in control of my life. And you can learn to do this. And when you learn, your life will change. I learned a lot from Victor T. He stayed with us for 1.5 years, working and teaching. And for the latter part of that time, he taught me so much. By the time he left, I knew how to positively feed my mind. I had changed so much. He taught me words to use, how to say things. It wasn't easy. He said, you can choose to live in the positive or not live positively. It is better to choose one of them than to try and do both of them and live a life of misery. To live with both, you do a good thing and you will always find something wrong with it. You can see how this would undermine your life. Victor continued, I chose to live life in the positive. As a result, I met you. Had I not chosen to live this way and drown myself in negatives, we would not have met. And you, Adam James, would not have discovered how to move beyond your pain. Everywhere I go, I see many like yourself. They are men and women of many countries. They're all trapped within the conflict of their mind. For some, those who do not choose to live in the positives, their very actions cost them their very lives. The negative mind, he told me, gains control when you do not address the mind with powerful, positive messages to counter the negative messages. Because this new, positive way of seeing your world brings about radical changes in your life that are for your greater good. If you do not let the mind know what road it is to take, it will follow the one you have automatically responded to in the past. Your anger, worry, doubt, fear, aggression, and other negative responses. All of those things will feed the hunter. Before Victor T. left, he taught me some very helpful words to use and what the words meant. He said to me, these words may sound odd to you, but that is all right. These are old words. They are older than anything I know. They are the words that direct the mind and tell you what to do. And so he taught me some words. Victor said, you need to know 4 words. And these words are important not to forget. The first word to know is silence. And silence means to stop talking and listen. Before there was language, the spoken word, there was only silence. There were no words. There was no need for words. All forms of communication were done through energy. Energy gave images that had meaning, and this meaning was like a vocabulary that you told in the presence what to do. It was called being telepathic. You had a mouth, but you didn't use it. The whole body received communication. This is the way silence was used. And this was called soul life. Silence. Victor told me the importance of silence for me was to stop speaking and simply listen to what was taking place within me and around me. Understand, I was accustomed to saying whatever I wanted, no matter how disrespectful it was. I entered into silence and I heard myself for the first time. I was ashamed because of the messages that I spoke without feeling what damage I was doing, not only to others, but also to myself. And as a result of this realization of silence, I cried a lot, and I healed. And then Victor said, the second word is wanting. You must come to understand what this word wanting actually means to you. Many people want something and do not know how to go about achieving this want. And the reason for that is it is not a true desire. It is what you are being told you should want, but it is not what is your truth. The truth can be very surprising. You cannot discover this amazing gift that is waiting for you until you begin the first step, and that is silence. Because silence opens the way for every step to follow. While in silence, ask your soul what it wants. Share with me what you are wanting. Victor continued. And the third word is rest. And this word, he said, was so important that for the mind to rest, your body heals and you grow wise. And he said the fourth word is thank you. This word, this thank you word, means we are doing better, that we are together. The thank you word is completion of something you set into motion through the first 3 steps. This fourth step is when you have reached this place where you really are in harmony with the world you have now created. And thank you is not limited. It is all for creation. That is why it is significant that you always say thank you at the end of anything you do for self, nature, all of creation. It is the anchor. It holds everything together. It is offering blessings to everything. And he said, when you learn these words, you will then have the control you need of your mind. It is not about anybody else. It is about you. These words seem so simple and common in this time of existence, but they are the foundation words that enable many to reach goals in life that give them the freedom for feeling trapped in their existence as a living being. Silence, wanting, rest, thank you. These words are like a roadmap. Follow them and reach your destination. Do not follow these incredible words and you will be stuck looking for answers in places that you cannot give you what you are in search of. The journey truly begins inside of you. So if you're looking outside for all the answers to your life, you are misdirected. There are answers out there to assist you, but understand they are presented to your world as a solution to life situations. So the messages given are what you would call basic or generic. It is like it is good for everyone, but that is not true. You must discover for yourself from inside through your silence to knowing what you want to give your appreciation of thank you. That is the way you will then understand your meaning to existence. And just to make life more interesting, Victor gave me a 5th word. He said, this is the word you use when you feel as if nothing is working, when it feels the other 4 words are not beneficial. Now, By this time, I had learned the other 4 words, and I was putting them into practice. I was better. I smiled more often, and I said thank you to others. And when I treated them with respect. I did what I had not done before. So I said to Victor, what is this 5th word? He said, the number 5 word, well, he said it's not one word, it's 3 small words put together. It is, explain to me. Do you see the significance of that phrase? That is a powerful phrase when the mind is blocking your progress to feeling better. It is when your mind is giving you repetitive, negative, and hurtful messages that you do not seem to have any control over. You must find the courage to say to your mind, explain to me. And you do this in silence. You think it, and you think it with strength. Explain to me. The result will most likely be one of deep silence of your mind, which is what you want. And now you can put the message into your mind, what you do want. Victor continued, the mind is not complicated. However, it is, as we have shared, persistent. Persistency is part of its success. This can be positive or negative. This explains why the mind will give you negatives that are hurtful, because to the mind, it is only following what it is used to as your instructions. You and many others have learned negative mind messages. The mind will continue to repeat those messages until you actively correct the message and the emotion associated with it. The repeating negatives are why people are frustrated all the time, because the mind will keep telling you what you don't want to hear. It is what the mind has learned. It has been taught from you through your learned behaviors. So you say to your mind, explain to me. Because if you want to think and act these negative ways, then explain to me. You will find there is no explanation, because the mind was only repeating what the mind was prone to do. And this is when you put in a new and positive message, because there will be silence. When I found out who Victor was in that lifetime was just before my life was over. I'd lived a good life. Longer than many. I was 85 years old. I was sitting in my bed and I was at peace. I had family with me and I was happy with the life I had lived. Victor appeared seemingly through the air. You would have called him an angel, but in truth he was a mystic. He came to see me, to wish me well on my new journey, and to visit an old friend. And looking back at my life, of all the places he could have gone that day, he showed up on the road I was walking, and he changed my life. I had become reckless, daring, no sense of what I was doing. So he came to teach me, to show me a different way to live, and as a result of him choosing that place and time, and to stay with my aunt and uncle, it was from him I became the person I would like to know. I went on to do some rather interesting things that lifetime, but that I will tell you at another time as to where my life went from there. Thank you.
Thank you. I thought I got my, okay, got it. Thank you. Got it.
Okay.
Okay. No. I kind of like this sitting down at work. Okay, how did that feel for you?
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
What an amazing message.
So I want you all to just take a moment to close your eyes. And I want you to visualize what our wonderful Patty was talking about, what Alhaji had to say, and see where you aren't listening. See the times that you don't ask the mind to explain itself. Go through and take another nice deep breath and say to your mind inside there, explain to me why I should be angry and not happy. Explain to me why I should be not loving. Explain to me why I should not be helping. And stop. And let the Creator come in through your mind and show you a different way. A way full of grace and love and energy and excitement, but most of all, the grace of loving you. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
And Annie, if you could pass a donation basket, we certainly appreciate that. If anybody would like to help her, we could use a helper. Here's Mel.
my buddy Mel.
Tradition.
So, Jean Lyons says, lovely talk. Thank you so much.
That was wonderful. Now, for any of you who would like to give a talk, please see Courtney. We need people for the month of August, and we'd love to have somebody who hasn't spoken before. And Patty, the first time you were up here, it was scary, and this time you were so relaxed. Does it get easier? It gets easier, yeah. And so if you feel like you don't have a message, you're wrong. Each one of you has a message to give of love and energy and faith. So find your message. Okay, can you do that? I'm sure you can.
I've got two.
You've got two. Tell me, Corky, and she'll sign you up, girlfriend. That because the idea that we don't have a story or a lesson or a statement or a feeling to share, that's not true. But sometimes we get to talking and we forget to have our mind explained. Why are we trying to sell somebody else our story?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to change people? Remember, you're sharing your story, not trying to be a salesman of your story. Thank you so much, Annie. And do you have everybody say the prayer as we hold, you want to hold the basket? Sure. And say, there it is. And now grab your program. And I'm going to read it out loud. And it says the sacrament of giving. So here we go. Giving to the ministry, from which I receive my spiritual support and nurturing, is an affirmation and consciousness of the truth that spirit is the prospering power enriching every area of my life. And so it is. And thank you so very much for being here today. And thank you, Reverend Mary and Reverend Tom, for coming in. We love seeing your smiling faces. It's a joy to see you. Thank you again. And please, before you give somebody a hug, ask if they're hugging. And we'll have coffee in the back. And they have lots of food on this table. Grab a bag and take some food home with you. And if you don't need it, but you have a neighbor that does, please share. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful day.